Hey guys, what's going on? We're just kind of doing a little live stream here. I'm just kind of out on my little side road here, doing a little hike. Didn't really forewarn anybody that I'm doing a live stream. I just went on a hike and figured I'd kind of chat um, with you guys and kind of see what's up with everybody. So, as you guys know, I've been cranking out the reviews and stuff. Uh, just gonna let you guys know on some upcoming reviews. I got the Stoner MS5 review. Um, should be uploaded today. I don't know why my YouTube's been really weird with people's uploads. I'm not the only one. I know I was just talking to Jacob Peterson and he had YouTube completely fail to upload a video multiple times. I've been having shorts crash while trying to upload them. So like I have to like try to upload shorts multiple times just to get them to upload. Same thing with my videos now. Like it'll just get completely uploaded, get to the checks, sit there and check for all day long and still not get anywhere. And so I'll just right now, that's the status of the MS5. Actually, sorry. Okay, that looks a little better. Had just a little bit of a smudge on the screen there. Um, so the MS5 review is coming up. I got the filming done for the Reef Vicon. Guys, this thing is absolutely awesome looking. The Reef Vicon. It's coming out August 15th. So if you want just that like kind of Magna Cut little combat fixed blade, be sure to check them out. They're gonna have a handful of colors and stuff like that. And then what else? I'll have the Baby Moon blades review coming soon. I'll have the after that, I'd like to get to some gun reviews, actually. Try to knock out some gun reviews. Probably going to try to do something with a little Colt rifle. I'd like to try to get something done with my AR-10, which is a CMMG Mark III AR-10. So if you guys want to see some more gun reviews, let me know. The gun reviews are a little harder for me to do just because a lot of times you almost need like a second person to cameraman for those, especially if I do any like running guns, and just getting time with my brother or somebody that'll cameraman for me is not exactly the easiest thing. But I do want to try to pump out some more gun reviews. I think the CMMG Mark III AR-10 is going to be my deer hunting rifle this year. So I may hold off on the review for it and take it out for a deer hunt and see if I can bag a deer or two with it. That'll be cool. I would like to get some more Glock stuff out there too. Guys, I still think the Glock 26 is probably one of the best Glocks out there for us, especially for like a everyday concealed carry. Right now, I am actually rocking out the Glock 19. I've been kind of on a Glock 19 kick, although if you stop me out on the street, about 99% of the times I'm gonna have my Glock 26. It's just more comfortable to carry on a day-to-day basis. So there's that. And of course, we're still kind of working on the homestead and stuff, trying to do more there, doing more stuff with the goats as well. Chickens, rabbits, all that good stuff. So I don't know if you guys want to see more homestead content. Honestly, I've done homesteading content and everybody says they want to see it, but then when I post anything on it, it doesn't hardly get anything. So, you know, that's just kind of how it is. And I see why a lot of people don't post that kind of stuff, in all honesty. I've thought about even trying to work on some more like spiritual preparedness type of stuff too. And that's kind of a journey even for me. Like I've been bouncing around churches trying to even find one that I honestly think actually even preaches out of the Bible. And quite frankly, a lot of them don't anymore. I think they kind of more have a gay Coldplay rock concert than it is even a church. So that's been kind of a little bit of a journey for me. Of course, nothing wrong with just reading the Bible on your own. So there's that as well. Looks like I got just a handful of people here. It's a Sunday, like I said. I didn't really forewarn anybody that I was gonna do a live stream. I was gonna try to do one with Heavyset Knife Co. and John there, but haven't been able to get a hold of him much as of late. One of these days, I do plan on trying to do a live stream with Reese from Well Regulated too. I actually think that would be kind of a cool live stream. So if you guys are interested in seeing that live stream, let me know, and I'll try to actually get that on paper or get that scheduled at least. I guess it kind of sucks. Adulting sucks, trying to find time to do anything anymore. And it seems like everybody's kind of in the same boat. Like, nobody has time for nothing. What's up, Appalachia? Just hiking out here in the woods. It's surprising because I actually get somewhat of a decent service out here, even down here on my trail. Like, I go back into the like deeper part of the woods and I have like no service at all, but along this trail I don't get too bad a service. And I say that, and I only have one bar right now, so I don't know how that happened, because usually I do just fine out here. But yeah, if you guys are actually interested in a live stream with me and Well Regulated, let me know. We were probably going to discuss some knives and stuff. And well, that's cool. What waterfall or where at? Was it like a public place or? Yeah, it's crazy. Sometimes I get service in like the craziest places, and then like in my yard I can't get service. Or well, the one that's really crazy is I live way out in the country, and in central Missouri, and I'll get great service in my yard, but then I'll go down to like Springfield, Missouri, like a big city, and have absolutely no service. It makes absolutely no sense to me. And there's like, you just see the towers everywhere. It makes no sense to me. But then, out of my yard, you can't see a tower for a mile. So I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Oh. Yeah, I'm just out here hiking along. This is kind of right on the edge of my property. My area here in Missouri is kind of like, so Missouri is kind of split in half with the like Ozarks, and then it kind of turns into like northern farm fields and stuff. And I'm kind of right on the edge of both. So my area can be kind of hills and hollers and stuff. And then like suddenly you're in a 1,000-yard open cornfield. So, yeah, this, down here by my creek, I don't really do much in the creek just because it's nasty, because all the farmers up creek, they want to let their cattle run around and shit and piss all in the creek. So it sucks, because when I was a kid, everybody kind of respected it, and so it was like a nice clean creek, and everybody'd come down here and swim and stuff like that. But now it's like cow shit and piss, so that's nice. I guess I'd rather it be that than them bulldozing it all down so they can get one more row of Monsanto corn or some bullshit. But yeah, this area of Missouri, like I said, it's right on the edge of kind of the Ozarks region and the kind of cornfield. So like my yard, it looks like a freaking just open plains of Kansas or something. But then I can just go right down the road and here's my woods. Do I have snakes on my property? Yes, I do have snakes on my property. I don't see them very often, in all honesty. And when I do, it's about 90% little black snakes and stuff. I have seen a copperhead out here before, but they're not very common. Just like most others, it's mostly just black and corn snakes and stuff. And when the creek had more water coming through it on a regular basis, we used to have water moccasins down there. We actually had to bring a family member to the hospital one time because they got bit by one down at that same creek. But that hasn't been for a long time. That creek kind of goes back and forth these days. Of sometimes it'll be just flowing with water, and sometimes it's just dead stagnant water, and sometimes it's damn near dried up. And it's a spring-fed creek, and so it should be running most of the time, but I think some of the farmers around here has kind of blocked it up and stuff with farming and everything like that, so it doesn't flow the same that it used to. We got a couple. So just a little bit of geography nerding out to you guys, I guess, but Missouri sits on one of the, just a huge water aquifer, and so we actually have a lot of just like natural springs around here. And so like even on my property there's just a couple accesses to springs, and so you know that's one thing I feel a little blessed about for like a preparedness standpoint, is even if my regular well fails for whatever reason, I know a few spots on my property that one even has an old like 1800s well casing still built on top of it, that I could just open it up and there's crystal clear spring water down in it. So and there's one right by the other farmhouse and a couple hidden into the woods. So I feel incredibly blessed to be on this property. There's some other things that's not ideal, but you know, nowhere is ever going to be perfect. It's honestly building up a community and stuff. I see Brother Kenny is on here as well. Kenny has been really helping out with the channel a lot more and helping out with the homestead and farm and stuff like that. So we're eager to get him and his up here entirely and do some stuff. We're just kind of letting you guys know we're legit trying to do like a community up here. And so there's actually a few houses for sale just like down the road from me and stuff, like less than a mile. So if you guys are more of like that Christian militant preparedness minded type of guy, like we're legit wanting people to move around here that's like-minded, not just a bunch of old dying baby boomers. So that's all like Dixie Democrats. But yeah, so we're trying to get like a whole community around here. So if that's something you guys are interested in, let me know, because I would like to have some more like-minded, able-bodied guys around here for sure. And we're like right central Missouri kind of area. The biggest city from us is over an hour and a half away, so it's a nice little secluded spot. But Well, Kenny, I was actually talking earlier about some reviews I was going to try to get to and talking about some like gun reviews and stuff. So, Kenny's recently moved up here. So, we've been trying to get him all set up. That's why I didn't even upload a video last weekend, was because I was just so busy trying to help him move. But, um, I'm hoping to get caught up on some knife reviews and then start working on some more gun content, more like just pure bushcraft or hiking, camping content, stuff like that. So I'm doing great, Zachary. Hey, Zachary, I was gonna ask you a question actually. Um, did you send me a knife? I got a knife recently in the mail, and I know you commented something on it, and I wasn't quite sure if that was from you or what. And the Grinch, hey Grinch, what's up? I, guys, it's guys like you that I honestly appreciate, like the, fly by night guys that just shows up to a channel that barely ever comments or likes anything, and they just show up for a giveaway here and there. Those guys are annoying, but the guys like you guys that are damn near on every video, that's always interacting and stuff, that's actually cool to talk to. Thank you guys. I appreciate all that. Okay, that's what I thought. All right, so it was that A.G. Russell little knife. Okay, I appreciate that, Zach. I didn't realize that was from you, so I got that, and I was wondering what the hell, because I was like, man, I was not expecting this knife, and I think it now. I remember you telling me about it, and I'll be totally honest. I have so many different things flying at me at this time in my life. Wife, kids, work, farm, homestead, reviews, YouTube and stuff, that sometimes I straight up just forget things like on a regular basis. So I appreciate that, Zach. I don't know if you want me to try to review that or what's the whole thing. I think you still got my email, so just hit me up on there. What weapons will be on review? So I mentioned a few. I'd like to try to do some more Glock content. So like Glock 26, Glock 19. I'd really like to get my hands on one of the Ruger RXMs. For whatever reason, those actually look pretty cool. If I didn't already have like 3 Glocks, I probably would have already got one. But it's kind of hard to buy another, basically a Glock clone. So I definitely want to do some more Glock content. I'd like to get some more just AR-15 stuff, like my Prancing Pony, and Kenny has a really nice F&H 20-inch rifle build that I think would be cool. So not only get some like reviews on those rifles, but I actually think some like tactics and shooting course type of stuff, because we have a we have our own shooting range, and we're trying to like, it's a work in progress, but we're trying to set it up to where it has like a course through it too, so where you can like do some more tactical running guns and stuff, and not just static shooting range stuff. And yes, you did see a CMMG 308. That's the Resolute Mark III. So I do have that. I'm wanting to get to a full review on that. What is it? I'm still debating if I want to try to just do the video on the CMMG before, or wait till, and with the way things are going, it's probably going to get put on the back burner a bit anyways. So I think I might wait till after deer season, and then use it for deer hunting, because I do like that it's just a 16-inch short, handy little compact 308. So take it out, bust a couple deer with it, and have that as part of the review. I think that's what I'm probably going to do for the CMMG. And guys, I've been wanting a AR-10 for a long time. Just because my area, I think an AR-10 would actually serve pretty well. just because, you know, like I mentioned, this area of Missouri can kind of go from hills and hollers to 1,000-yard open cornfields like really quickly. And so having that little bit of extra range capability with a 308, I think is going to be pretty nice, especially if, God forbid, things ever get kind of crazy or anything like that. And Zachary, thank you for sending me that knife. Kenny, no, it's not. The M1A is like the Giga Boomer FUD rifle. It is still cool though. I actually at one point in time thought about buying a M1A multiple times. Like Kenny does have an M1A, which is cool. It might be kind of cool to do some videos of the AR-10 compared to the M1A, because his M1A is the SOCOM M1A, so it's the same barrel length roughly as the CMMG Mark III. I thought if I could have had my 100% choice, I would have liked to have gotten 18-inch barrel AR-10, but CMMG doesn't offer one in 18-inch. They have 16 or 20, and the 20 is just like a super heavy barrel and all that. And I'll be totally honest, the whole like super heavy bull barrel, blah, 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 on any rifle, quite frankly. It doesn't matter if it's an AR-10 or bolt action or whatever. It just really doesn't do much for me. And I'm not going to say that there's not a place for it, but if you've ever had to hike miles and miles and miles with, you know, a 20-pound freaking rifle or some crap, it sucks after a while. And really, it doesn't, at least in my experience, doesn't really do you much good. So we do not have a FAL or a G3. I've always kind of wanted a FAL or a G3, but in all honesty, the FAL and the G3, just the market for them are just kind of weird, in all honesty. You're going to spend as much on one as even like a decent AR-10 these days. And quite frankly, they're just kind of dated, and finding mags for them can be kind of hard. Mounting optics on them are just kind of hard. And I think they're cool rifles. Like if I could have one, I would like to have a G3. I think a G3 would be kind of cool. The like gigantic MP5 HK slap. Yeah, that'd be cool. I would like to have a G3, but trying to actually find a decent one that they're not trying to charge like an epic shit ton. And honestly, with the gun market these days too, it's just kind of weird because you have like a few of these, and I'm not even like trying to personally attack them or anything, but a few of these like gun tuber LARPer types that'll just do like these weird LARPs, and they'll have like, you know, full outfit and stuff, and then it like creates this like immediate demand for like rifles that used to be like $700, and now they're, you know, $3,000 just because some YouTuber wanted to act kind of gay and do a LARP. So the gun, especially like some of your older guns, are just kind of hard to find decent deals on them anymore. It's just like I still see people sometimes will hype up like, oh, you get a Mosin Nagant for cheap. It's like, have you priced one recently? Like, hell, most of them are like $600-700 these days. $500 for a piece of shit Mosin Nagant. Like, you can go buy a Ruger American brand new 308 bolt action and have a better rifle in every single way. The Model 8 would be really cool, Zachary. I've always wanted a Browning A5 and like auto shotgun, and used to you can find them pretty cheap, and now you just can't hardly find them at all. And when you do, the price of them has gotten like way up there. And so one of these days I'll probably wind up grabbing a Browning A5 if I can ever find one. But yeah, a lot of guys, you know, guns is not necessarily just a preparedness thing. A lot of times guns can be kind of an investment thing too. There's a handful of guns that I've had over the years that I've bought and turned around and sold them for, more than double of what I paid for them. And so guns are kind of one of those things that holds their value incredibly well. Uh, I mean, guns, golden land. If it's not one of those three, it's probably not going to hold its value. And also having some I don't have any kind of like sponsors or anything like this, but if you guys are kind of looking into some preparedness stuff, I think having some like gold or silver is actually like a good thing. Now, my opinion on it is a little different than some people. Some people think that like, oh well, SHTF, everything's collapsing, blah blah blah. Somebody might trade some stuff for some silver or gold, and that might be true. But to me, I look at it more so of any SHTF situation is only going to be temporary, and after things get rebuilt and after civilization kind of comes back, gold and silver will help you buy into whatever new system there is. Or if it's like straight up mark of the beast type of situation where you can't buy or sell unless if you get, something implanted in you or some crazy shit like that, then it could help you potentially operate outside of that. Okay, most people don't realize how much John Moses Browning did for the military. I forgot how many patents. Oh yeah, John Moses Browning was like the premier gun designer. Um, I I think there needs to be like a monument to John Moses Browning. He hit. I mean, we still use a lot of his stuff in the military today, like the M2 50 cal machine gun and stuff. I mean, that's been unchanged for 100 years, basically. So, John Moses Browning. And what's interesting is you look at a lot of the like top gun designers in history, they all were toy or like toy engineers and stuff like that, which is kind of interesting. A lot of them started off as like making toys for kids and then turned around and made guns. Like the original AR-15s was made by Mattel Toy Company. A lot of people don't know that, by Eugene Stoner. So, have I tried a 308 AK? I have not. Actually, no, I take that back. I have once. And I don't know. I think they're kind of cool, but I just don't really look at an AK for like 308. I honestly don't even own an AK anymore. I've had a handful of AKs. My first rifle I ever bought for myself was an AK. So I kind of have a little bit of nostalgia for an AK, but at the same time, the 7.62 by 39 just is nowhere near as available and cheap as it used to be. And so to me, I just don't really think the AK platform is really kind of my thing anymore. I kind of got into the ARs, and I kind of like the ARs. And one of the reasons why I wanted an AR-10 in 308 was because I have the Mossberg MVP bolt action in 308 that takes AR-10 magazines. And so I hate buying new magazines for different guns, and some of these guns too, like even like the 308 AK, finding the mags for it is hard to find, and when you do, they're $100 a mag or some crazy crap like that, and you can't hardly find them. And so AR-10 mags are really plentiful. I could get on damn near any website and just buy as many of them as I want. And in my humble opinion, I think any rifle you have, especially any rifle that you plan on actually using for a potential defensive scenario and or, God forbid, offensive scenario, you should have at least 15 to 20 mags plus for it. And so being able to find mags, I think it would be a very advantageous thing for any rifle you get. Same thing with like the ammo. I don't like buying a bunch of like weird offshoot calibers. Like I had at one point in time just all kinds of different guns and calibers and stuff, and I uh thinned out so much stuff and just went with like the basics. So it's like, okay, I need a I need 308, I need a 5.56, I need 12 gauge, 9 mil, 22, good to go. Like, you know, and so I could stockpile all those mainline calibers for basically all my needs. So there's some guys, I know them, I work with some of them too, and they, you know, every time a new caliber comes out, they want to go buy the new gun and the new caliber, and not even a year later, the caliber is basically non-existent. And, you know, I also think there's a lot of really, really gimmicky calibers out there. Probably gonna piss some people off when I say this. I think 300 Black is one of those. I think 6.5 Creedmoor was one of those. You know, it seems like every few months they come out with some new caliber, and all the like tactical elitist guys will act like it's like the best thing ever, but then you get it out in reality and it doesn't really do anything outstandingly performance wise, and then it ends up costing like $3 a round. And yeah, so I never owned a 308 AK. I've only tried one, and the one I tried was a Zastava, I think it was, which, I mean, it was actually fairly high quality and stuff. My last AK I owned was a Zastava. I got some video with me using it and stuff, and that rifle was built very well. I liked it. It actually shot amazingly accurate, even with just like cheap steel case Russian crap. But kind of where I was at with the whole AK thing in general, and this was with the 7.62x39 Zastava, is for the weight. The rifle weighed more than my AR-10, and the ammo weighed almost the same as 308. And I'm just kind of like, okay, well, for me in my area, especially when I'm considering potentially going out to, you know, several hundred yards, the 308 kind of served me better. So the 7.62x39 AK was kind of one that I thinned out. Now I do have a couple SKSs. I'll keep those and still use those for shooting my 7.62x39. That still gives me an option for if I'm hanging out with the 7.62x39 guys, but at the same time, you know, it's a fun rifle too. 30-06, there's no flies on 30-06. There's a lot of people around here that still swears by 30-06. 5.7x28, is it kind of gimmicky? I got mixed feelings on 5.7. So I had a 5.7 F&H pistol at one point. I didn't like it very much. I ended up getting rid of it. I didn't think it was accurate with the shit, quite frankly. But I kind of see a niche for it. My only issue with it is the cost of it. The cost of it costs more than a 5.56. And so like I see some of the guys and they're getting like, you know, 10-inch barrel little PCC or whatever in a 5.7. It's like, you do realize you can get a 5.56 and shoot it for half the cost. When I look at 5.7 and it costs $1 a round, when 5.56 is 50 cents a round, then, or less. A lot of times I could find 5.56 for, you know, 30, 40 cents a round. Then it really kind of makes 5.7 kind of seem a little silly. And from what I've seen too, there's been some issues with 5.7, even from the start of 5.7, even in like Europe, where they'd have, you know, some guy hopped up on whatever with a machete and they're dumping mags into him and he's still freaking going. So I've heard of some potential lack of lethality issues with 5.7 as well. So I personally would, I mean, me personally, why go with 5.7 when you could get 5.6 or 9mm? That's just kind of my opinion. But I mean, that being said, if you like it, then that's cool. I've had it and I wasn't like super impressed with it. Got like spider web or something on me. Oh. I love having these gun talks with you guys, actually. It's kind of fun. I'm not going to tell you guys where I work, but I do work for a gun company. So I and I've been involved in guns basically most of my life. So it's kind of one of those things. And I've heard 5.7 has come down in price, but every time I personally look for it, it's always still more expensive than 5.56. And to me, there's no reason why a pistol round, especially one that's small, should cost more than a 5.56 round. But that's just my opinion. Another one I think is kind of silly too is 10 millimeter. Now I know that's going to piss some people off too. And there's some 10 millimeter fanboys. And 10 millimeter is kind of one of them that I like. I want to like it. But there's so many different varieties of 10 millimeter that, one, the price of it is just ridiculous. But two, there's so many different varieties of 10 millimeter, they can't even hardly make a PCC that'll function with it, because you'll buy some 10 millimeter and it's no more powerful than a 40 Smith & Wesson, and then you'll buy some that's, 357 Magnum power. And so there's like so many different variations of power with 10 millimeter, and some of them aren't even truthful about what their output is on their 10 millimeter, that it makes 10 millimeter not exactly the most prevalent or reliable round out there, especially with like a PCC or something. Now a Glock pistol, that's something different. But I remember when everybody went like balls to the wall to sell all their 308s to go get 6.5 Creedmoor, and then 6.5 Creedmoor in reality didn't really own up to what they claimed it can be. And that's why I don't like chase after the latest greatest like knife steel either, is because I feel like sometimes that's the case. Sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's still good, but it's not quite what they hyped it up to be. I do the same thing with, the gun calibers and stuff. I don't chase after the latest, greatest stuff. Yeah, I've heard Jacob with Very Good Knife Company was going to do a run of your knives. How many is he going to do? And that's the Lone Star, right? I might have to ask Jacob about it at some point. I know one model that I've been asking him to make, and me and him's been talking about it. He kind of drew it up, but I've been kind of talking about how, like, dude, it'd be cool, is I want to see him do one called the Counter Strike. And I've mentioned it on a few of his live streams. And the Counter Strike would basically be like a small EDC version of the First Strike. I think that would be a really cool little knife. Now, if you guys don't know, just get on to Very Good Knife Co. And look up the First Strike. It's kind of like his combat utility knife. It's honestly one of my favorite knives. And also there is a few of my designs still left on there, the Hawk and the Eagle. So if you want something like that, Viking sack style blade, that's what my design is. So you might check those out if you're interested. I'm going to stop for a second and get some water here. I got some water in my pack. Oh, just keeping it real with you guys. Actually, I'm just going to set you down and hope here. Okay. It's hot as crap out here. It's been like 90s and humid as crap, and it rains about every few days, and it feels like a freaking swamp. and I'm too white and Northern European ancestry to deal with it. I'm ready for winter. Missouri is kind of crazy on our weather. Like we could go from like 100-degree, hot and humid, and then all of a sudden it's -20, all in like the same week. it's kind of crazy around here. And me personally, now I will say -20 gets old after a while. But I think I'd rather deal with the cold than the hot almost any day. No, the thing I don't like about the winter the most is the fact that there's just like hardly no daylight. Uh, when it gets dark by 4:30 or something, then that kind of gets a little old. You just bought a Peltonen knife. I don't know which one that is, honestly. All right. Get this jaunt going again. And guys, if you ever are looking for something that's good to just work out, I mean, I've mentioned this on a short, like not even too long ago, throwing on some gear and rifle pack and stuff and going on a hike is probably one of the best things you can do. If you're not up to that level yet, just grab you a little pack with some water in it, and have your Rudy Tooty Pewty on you, and maybe a cool blade on you. Actually, let's talk about the blade I got on me. The blade I got on me, I got a few blades on me today. Got the Reef Knives Vicon. Guys, I am absolutely loving this blade here. This thing is pretty sick. And you guys know I like the kind of combat utility knives. It kind of is an ode to my old, Marine infantry days and stuff. And this thing is in Magna Cut steel with that tan PVD coating and stuff. I already have filmed for the review for it. I just gotta upload it. I'm probably gonna upload the review for this in the next few days, couple days or something, but this drops on August the 15th. Kind of concealed is my TRC Polheim. This one's in Magna Cut as well, actually, but this knife's been leaning on me a lot lately. I still think I will always pick the VGK Adventure or my Hawk over this, obviously. But guys, this is a neat blade too. And then I got a pocket knife on me here. It is the Spyderco. It's the Para 3 Light, I think it is. And I like this blade overall, but I've been just kind of looking at something different. I think I'm gonna grab one of the Kershaw Bel Airs. I do like it quite a bit. Now let me catch up on some of the comments here. Okay, Jacob did a Sunday chat today, and he was wearing a jacket and said it was cold in Georgia. It's kind of crazy sometimes how that can be. There was one time I went down to Florida. I went all the way down to Key West, actually. And, here, and it was May. And here I was thinking, oh, it's going to be nice, blah, 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 all this stuff. It rained and stormed basically the whole time I was there. And I kept looking at the weather, and there it was like 60s and 70s in Key West, Florida, when we're trying to go to the beach and swim and stuff. And it was in the 90s here in Missouri. So it was like, what the hell? Like Missouri's, 1,500 miles north of us, and somehow warmer than it is down here and damn near the Caribbean. So it doesn't make any sense. William Brown, can you please remind Phil, 22, no playing with knives in the woods in Nova Scotia, and absolutely love my VGK Adventure. Thanks to you, and the heads up to your brother. Well, I'm glad you really like the VGK Adventure. Guys, if you want to just like the perfect EDC daily use, just woods knife, a little bit of general purpose, everything, do all knife, just look up Very Good Knife Company. Grab you the Very Good Knife Company Adventure. you'll thank me for it. All right. The Adventure is just such a special knife, and in a lot of ways, I like the Adventure more than even my own design. So that just says something right there. As for the thing going on with Nova Scotia and Canada, guys, I think we're all seeing it all throughout the world. Honestly, it's not even just a Canada thing. Canada is just getting kind of a brunt of it, but we're not voting our way out of any of this shit. Uh, Me personally, I think the United States should annex Canada, not even for like some stupid MAGA whatever bullshit. Like, I don't even care about any of that, but just because straight up fuck Canada. So that's why I think we should annex it. And they act and look kind of gay. So yeah, I think we should annex Canada. Probably put sanctions on some of the big liberal cities, cut them off, block off their highways. You guys figure it out for a few years. We'll clean it up afterwards. Do some of that type of stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy talking, but let me know what you guys think. Should we annex Canada? Because they're becoming a third world shithole enemy right on our border. Maybe do Mexico while we're at it. Zachary, it's a Finnish military knife. They're made by a company that makes the Yakari Puko. Okay, yeah, I heard of those actually now. When I did the reviews on the Yakari Pukos, I've had a few people recommend those ones to me, and I've never tried one. Actually, one in N690 would be kind of cool to try, in all honesty. But yeah, I might have to check back into those. I do got some knives that are cheaper because I do realize that sometimes being a knife reviewer, you kind of get caught up into like, hey, I want better and better and better and better. And next thing you know, you're reviewing a whole bunch of $300-$400 knives, and not everybody can buy that. And so I do got some cheaper knives, and I do like to throw in some more affordable knives on the channel, just, to show people that you don't really have to buy an expensive knife. Like, you buy an expensive knife because you're a knife connoisseur and you've been using them for a while and you want just that extra step, but you don't have to do that. If you just are some average person that hardly uses them and you want just one knife to throw in your go bag, grab you a freaking Yakari Puko or Cold Steel SRK or something, and you're probably going to be good to go, unless if you just do something really stupid, which sometimes you can't rule out really stupid too, and we've all been there and done that. Carbon fiber. Oh yeah, I don't have any of his carbon fiber scales. I honestly, guys, I'm kind of real plain. I generally am just perfectly happy with some basic micarta. I prefer textured micarta, like something with some kind of like stippling or grip, or I don't know, some kind of texture on a micarta or G10. And that's kind of usually where I'm at. Like I do like liners. If I had to pick, I'm still kind of playing with this, but just some green scales with orange liners is usually a win for me. No, that's not a bad price, $105, and that's something a lot of people has to realize too. A lot of the knives are going up in price. Like, I was weirded out to see, even a lot of the like SEs and tops and stuff are over $200 these days for certain models, not all of them. But it's like, man, like the price of everything's going up. So obviously, a knife manufacturer, knife maker, they feel that same cost just like you do when you go to the grocery store. So, and not to mention the price of their materials is getting more, just like everything else. And so the cost of everything's going up. I'm fortunate that I have some people to work with me and stuff to, you know, send me blades for testing and stuff like that. But honestly, if I didn't have that, I wouldn't hardly be testing any new knives. I would just be doing more just stuff out here in the woods. And just a second, I thought I heard something. All right. Thought I heard a coyote or something for a moment there. But yeah, that's just my realistic scenario too. Is, you know, I'm just a guy on a single income. You know, I have a stay-at-home wife, so I couldn't be buying all these knives and stuff if it was just, you know, on my own. So I guess that's something to let you guys know too, is if there is a blade that you want, you know, sometimes it's better to just save up. Like, it kind of gets me sometimes, because it's like, I see some of these people and they'll be like, oh, I can't afford that, which I understand, like, you can't afford that. But then the same person will be showing 15 different cheap Chinese clones that they've bought every week. And it's like, you do realize that if you didn't buy all these cheap Chinese clones and you don't need a new knife every week, you could just save up and buy like a nicer American made or quality made blade. Like, I don't know. Well, guys, I've been going for almost an hour now. Just kind of a ramble in all directions. Thank you guys for hopping on. I appreciate it. And so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Zach, Grinch, is there a blade restriction limit in Missouri? No, not really. I guess it might kind of depend on where you go. I conceal carry, you know, about a 3-4 inch blade on me all the time. Open carrying, I'm open carrying this right now on me, but even in town and public, I've open carried bigger knives and stuff. And you can conceal carry, of course. And our concealed carry permit, we have constitutional carry here in Missouri, but our concealed carry permit, which you can still get, you know, not only is recognized in multiple states, but it's also recognizes knives and blades and stuff as like part of the concealed carry. And so, like, before I got into carrying a gun on me all the time, you know, right off the bat, I started just carrying like a concealed carried Becker on me. And then, you know, I was carrying my 1911 and then realized, okay, this is a little ridiculous. So I kind of downsized some things and got a Glock 26 and started carrying like a BK16 and SE3 on me. So no, there's not really much of a restriction. Now, is there some scumbag cop that'll murder you and your family and they don't even know the law that they're supposedly enforcing? Maybe. So just be careful there. But yeah. But guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you all for hopping on. Thank you guys for the questions and chatting with me and everything. And thank you guys, Grinch, Zachary. I can't pronounce your name. I don't speak Ukrainian, Russian, whatever that is. William, all you guys hopping on. Thank you guys for hopping on the live stream. And as always, be prepared both physically and spiritually. God bless and carry on.